What's up, everyone? Today I've got a banger for you guys, a double cup report with Charizard area lucky stuff. And today's video is not going to be about success, it's going to be about my failures and what you can learn from them, what I can learn from them moving forward, whatever. So, going into this season, I never had the goal of earning top 16 or whatever like that. Like the season, they reduced top 16 before it used to be. For those of you who don't know, if you were in top 16 in North America, you would advance to the second day of the World Championships automatically and receive a day bye. This year, they've eliminated that possibility, and we in turn instead get a round one bye, which feels like it's not necessarily that impactful. Um, that being said, I have not put a lot of stock into it, and I think this year my performance has not been necessarily the greatest. So for those of you who have been kind of DMing me, encouraging me, I appreciate that quite a bit. But at the end of the day, if I do well at LA, if I do well at an AIC, I'll earn it. And at the end, and if I don't, then I have to just go to the World Championships and show up and show out. Win round one, we're in the exact same spot, right, baby? So the reason I bring that up is this weekend of cups in the Delaware, Maryland, Virginia area is very like try hard heavy, if you want to say. I'm at 949 points, which is I'm currently in 18th, and I do have a top four finish at a League Cup that I can replace into a finals or better. I have 3 wins, 2 finals, and a top four, which I just have chosen not to replace because I've been very lazy. And some of the local area people are Michael Chen here, John Ang here, um, and that's kind of it. But you can see how close the race is here between these couple of players. Basically, like everything is going to come down to NAIC anyway between all of these point totals in Los Angeles. But at the end of the day, like winning a cup would have given me 18 points. So Saturday I was at a family wedding and I really could not go to a cup. I tried to actually dip in between because the wedding packed up around 10:30 and the reception was until 8 p.m. There was a cup about an hour away that started at 11:30, but I decided against it because I was like, well, there might be traffic if I get there at 11:30. I've never been to this store. Maybe they won't like hold this tournament for like 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes if I'm late. I don't feel like making them do that or like asking for that favor of a store that I've never been to. If I was a local of that store, maybe a little bit different because I actually support their business and I support their store because I go there all the time. But in this situation, I have no ties with this store, right? So it's like I don't feel comfortable in good conscience asking for a favor like that. Lo and behold, the cup actually gets delayed until about noon to start because they were waiting for some locals anyway. So I could have made it. So a little bit of an unfortunate situation on Saturday for me. But Sunday, there's 2 cups. Our local area has, so at the season end right now, because there's no cup slot to be scheduled in June, we have this weird small quarter where a bunch of cups are going to be overlapping. I know there's only one weekend left, so if you guys are going to cups and challenges, good luck. I have no more. On Saturday morning, or Sunday morning, sorry, we had 4 cups starting within 30 minutes of each other in like a 30-mile radius. Pretty ridiculous. So everyone was trying to metagame each other a little bit of a kind of funny like lesson in life, I guess. Myself, Michael Chen, Chris Franco, Clifton Dalgard, all need points. Like a lot of people in my local area need points. So no one coordinated, which is pretty funny to me. Like we could have just been adults and message, which is really, really funny to me. And me, Michael Chen, and a bunch of the other people who need points ended up at the same cup in the morning. So the 24-person cap ended up being one of the most stacked cups. The cup we thought was going to be the stacked cup had 9 masters that started 30 minutes later. And then there was like, I don't even know how many people were at the Curio Cup. I have to assume lower. But basically, it was like a very small tournament. I'm playing Zard. Round one, I go up against Will Jenkins, my good friend and my buddy. He's there to basically play block lags. He's not going for his invite. So Will just says, hey, you got it, man. Like, good luck further. I said, are you sure? He's like, I'm not going for my invite. You need this. Cool. Good talk. I mean, I think I win the block lags matchup anyway because I can get out of the, I have a Likey and I can just, loop, but it's a best of one. Anything can happen. Round 2, I go up against Lost Box. I'm playing against Tim, playing Lost Box. I think very close to Hermione's list, or maybe almost exactly Hermione's list. And I'm counting all the resources. And so early game, Tim lost zones a Rod and then uses Rod plus Gate to Greninja my 2 guys on the bench because I prize Mana Fate. And then he goes again into another Greninja play after using Rod Gate. And then he plays his 4th Rod. And I look through his discard just to verify everything is there because I'm like, okay, that should be I got rid of a gate earlier, so that should be your 4th gate and 4th rod, meaning that you have no way to accelerate any more energy after this point. I should be able to just like kind of set up a perfect lock with some big beefy dudes and win the game from here. My setup is abysmal, by the way. I have like no Charmanders in play at this point. Not really looking too hot for me, but I have like a LAKEY and his resources are pretty much almost gone. And he's like, no, this is my third rod. And I was like, what? And I picked up his discard, and I was like, should be the fourth rod that you played. And he's like, well, I didn't play a rod at the beginning of the game when I gated. And we walked through all the steps, and I was like, no, you did for sure. And so we agree that this is meant to be the fourth rod. And then he picks up his deck, and there's another rod in the deck. And I was like, what? And I was like, I definitely did not miscount that, and he just conceded. So I don't think there's any malice or anything. I think it was just like a shuffle back in situation. Yeah, all things there, kind of unfortunate, whatever. And then the next round, I go in round 3. I'm 2-0. Round 3, I go up against Gabe. He just came off a top 8 in Puerto Rico, one of my local guys. Awesome dude. He's from Puerto Rico originally. He moved up here this season. Really awesome guy. I love him a lot. He's a lot of fun. He's playing Tina. He's been sticking to Tina. He likes that deck now. The game is pretty much like at a board state where his board is locked under my collapsed. I have a LAKEY in the active. We're both at 4 to 4 prize cards. Or he's at 2, sorry, and I'm at 4. And I could just keep a LAKEY looping, and he has like maybe 5 cards in deck. And then I lock in my brain the LAKEY strategy, and I'm like picking back up resources like Airy, Prime Catcher, Turo, like pretty much every turn. And then once I have my hand is like Airy, Super, or my hand is like Turo, Super Rod, Prime Catcher, basically, and I've like eliminated all the 2 prizes off my board. I'm just sitting here going Airy, pick back up Airy, Airy, pick back up Airy every turn, because he has a 4th gate left, and if I can just force him to use the gate the turn he draws it, I win the game immediately. Or and I know like he both his rods are gone, so he has like I think 1 psychic energy remaining. So if he has to gate, that means that all of his energy will be on the board. His Tina can't attack because he had 1 energy on both Tina's. V-Star was already gone. But then I board lock him completely, and the game should in theory end. And then like I had like the most insane like brain fart or like lapse in judgment, I guess, and I just went Radzard, Countercatcher, Defiance Belt, kill, or Prime Catcher, kill a Tina V-Star. And then he went Boss, Sableye, Energy, kill my Manaphy, put damage on a LAKEY. And I drew, and I lost. And I was like, why did I do that? So I completely threw a game, like of my own accord. And like to like this moment, I can't explain exactly what happened. And Gabe and I talked about it after the game too. And he was like, why'd you do that? And I was like, I don't know. I really don't know why I did that. So, that was entirely on me. I like completely giga through the whole game. And that's like a lesson. Like not everyone's perfect. People make mistakes, especially when it comes to the game. Yeah, it is what it is. And then we go into round 4 where I play against Charlie Locker, another really good player. He's playing Ancient Box. He goes first. Turn 2, he gets the double attach on a Cridon at this point. Boss, kill my lone Pidgey. And I was like, dude, that is so unlikely that happens. And my hand was like really contingent on that Pidgey living because my hand sucked. So I have to use the rest of my hand to basically just make a Zard, attack. And we're in a position where like now I have enough attacks to win the game. And he needs me to miss 1 attack, which I think based on the way I was drawing, I had enough things to like continue attacking, which is all I needed to do. And he bosses a Bidoof for 1 turn and countercatches Bidoof and passes. Because he missed attack, I think, first. He missed like a Sada or something to put us in that situation. Like he missed first, giving me a chance. And I prized 2 fires. And they were in my last 3 energies. So I drew for turn. I think I slammed Iono. Because I top decked it or something like that. And I just did not have access to another fire. So I had to pass with Bidoof active. He got a knockout on Bidoof. The game was back to a pretty even board state. And even though I was able to produce like a fresh Zard, the game would always go to a position where I have to open up Countercatcher for him at the end of the game. And that's exactly what happened. And I or like Palpad plus gear into boss, which is exactly what happened to end the game, and couldn't really do much about that. So now I'm 2-2. There's a second cup a couple hours later, about a 45-minute to an hour drive, and I was like, maybe I just dip now. And someone's like, no, if the 4-0 wins their game, then it's a 3-2 will make it. And I was like, I guess I can play one more round. Like the tournament's moving super smooth. Like it was only like 12:30 at this point. And the other cup didn't start till 3:30. So I was like, sure, like whatever. And so at this point I hit Zardmir, and I like go down like 3 prizes super early, but I prized Defiance Band. so I can't make the play I want to make by killing Pidgeot. But I was able to hit 2 of his Zards that both had Charmeleons on them, and I Devo the board, and 3 candies were gone at this point as well. A lot of weird things happened this game where like a lot of resources were gone on his side, and I was just able to starve him out of resources with the Likey into just taking like late game Iono into knockouts, where he just couldn't respond because his Pidgeot was gone. His Bibarel was I killed his Bibarel at one point as well, so I was able to just capitalize on all of this. And then I proceeded to bubble. I think if Charlie had, or like the up pair to the 5-0 had lost, I think they would have been the 3-2 that makes it. So I don't think like I actually ever had a chance. But I had like a 60-something% resistance, so I was still doing pretty well. But I think whoever hit the 5-0 probably always like gets that insane boost of bump. Like they get like a full 20% boost because they hit the only XO, right? Like at that point, provided they didn't hit a junior or senior, which I didn't hit one. There's 3 in the room. So 3-2, 5th, unlucky, right? Not even unlucky, like entirely on me. It's like my fault. And like I'm kind of embarrassed even making this video because like you guys expect better of me as a player and the caliber of player that I am, but like I just played like shit. Like I just played terrible. Like there's no excuse for like the way I played. So we head to the second cup. I give someone a ride I probably shouldn't have given a ride to. We get to the cup. I'm not really close with this dude, but I know he's got a lot of issues. He's on the spectrum, and I was like, I don't really say no to people. So he was like, "Can I get a ride to the other cup?" And I was like, "Sure, whatever." And up to this point, he's like had a lot of violent outbursts against me in his past because of his nature of being on the spectrum. But obviously, like I know there's issues. I'm just gonna ignore it. So I just run back the same 60 because we have no time, whatever, right? Like we get there at like 3:05, and I'm just gonna sit in the same 60. This one's smaller, 14 masters. Some of the same crowd that didn't make it from over there, that need the points from over here, make it. So we're there. Round 1, I end up going against Incineroar EX, and I actually did not know what that card did. But in my mind, I took a prize on Cleffa super early with Heat Tackle, and then I realized I made like a huge mistake because I prized Devo, which meant that because he had Relicanth plus Litten, if I attacked an Incineroar ever, it just kills me. Because Litten, I think, is 2 fires, 20 times the number of damage counters on yourself, which is just insane. Like, what am I supposed to do into that? And he played Magma Basin and stuff to accelerate, so he was just setting up multiple ones. So I ended up having to go down 2 prizes, Countercatcher up his Relicanth, KO the Relicanth, hit his active Incineroar, let him take the knockout on Zard, Prime Catcher the bench Incineroar that he Magma Basin to, and Iono in the same turn, and hope that he didn't play a second Relicanth. And he told me that he did play 2 Rods. And he played, I think he played Bib too. So like my Iono didn't even like really do anything. Like he was just going to be able to Bib back up. But that was a really, really scary matchup because I think that like when it fires on all cylinders, it kind of feels really hard to beat if you don't have Devo in the deck at the moment. Like I just got absolutely like lucky, I think, that he prized the second Rod to win that game. And again, another mistake of me taking a prize on a heat tackling a Cleffa. Like if I just give up a Charmander and play like the airy like control strat a little bit, he takes the first prize. I'm able to kill Relicanth. I can hit the active. I can hit another Incineroar, Devo both. Like again, another mistake on my part, right? Round 2, I go up against what did I play round 2? Oh, dude, I actually like completely forgot what I played round 2. Oh no, I played against Justin. He was playing Ancient Box Tank. Justin Tank needed finals for his invite as well. So, we're kind of joking that it was like a pretty unfortunate time to hit right now. And Justin was playing Ancient Box. Now Justin had like a pretty rough start, I want to say, and the game came down to like basically can he one-shot a Zard at the end of the game, and he wasn't able to, like 2 turns before the end of the game, and I was able to Turo it and produce another 2 Zards on board, which just meant that I could win on like that, and he would have to bench Cobalion, and his Penny was already gone, and his Pal Pad was gone because I aeried it. So if he was able to put the Cobalion down, I counted all his energies, all his rods were gone, like everything was gone. I would have been able to like gust the Cobalion even if like I didn't want to take a knockout on the active Roaring Moon. It was just his 4th moon also, like the other 3 went in discard. Actually I think he had 1 rod left. But again, like the situation would have been like Rod into Sada into like a switch card effect basically. And I don't think he could produce all of that if I was just able to put Cobalion in the active and the game ends. So I don't think I was losing the turn he missed the one shot on the Zard. He needed to get like a full one shot, and I think he was like three, because I saw the COULDN when I aeried on like turn three, I want to say, and I think he was three ancient cards short of doing it, um, which was fine. You know, like he was really really close, and the matchup is again I think very slightly unfavored for ancient box, like maybe 60-40 probably, if that. So I end up taking win, go to 2-0. Now I need one more win to make it to cut. So I hit the guy I gave a ride to. I get down paired in two. And we hit. We're shuffling up. I offer to kind of like get dinner while we're waiting because I'm super hungry at this point. We haven't eaten all day because I've just been driving. And he has a little bit of an outburst. So this is a lesson in how to deal with like someone who is clearly assuming things about you and not. He began saying that he wasn't good. He was going to take the win if he wins the game. And I was like, sure, whatever. Like, let's just play. And he's like, are you going to leave me here if I beat you and stay? And I was like, what? Like, we'll talk after the game. And like, that's so weird. Why would I leave you here? Like, that's like, I'm not cruel. I'm not going to like leave you here. And then obviously my opponent, being someone on the spectrum, proceeded to have an outburst of saying that I was like going to try to coerce him into like conceding because he's weak-willed and autistic, and he's like yelling this in the story at this point. And I'm just remaining completely calm. By the way, he's playing Raging Bolt, and the board state at this point is I have taken 4 prizes and he has taken 1. So like my start was pretty nutty. Like I got like turn 2 Candy Zard, Candy Pidgeot into attack onto his Raging Bolt. And then he didn't get the turn 2 like explode on me because he had used Burst Roar, I think. And then I went Prime Catcher, kill Mew. And then he like missed the attack again and had to like boss kill something else. And then I, killed the active Raging Bolt at this point. And like now I'm just like I have 2 Zards set up and a Pidgeot set up, and I'm like, whatever you KO, I can just get boss and the game ends. Because like he had 2 Sandy Shocks sitting on the bench and the game was over. Like the first person to take 2 prizes in that matchup wins, and they need to get Sada, attach, and I think he was playing E switches and no like gutsy pickaxes. So it was like E switch plus shoes, gets you a little bit of a digger, lets you dig deeper. But I don't think it actually like accelerates the way it should, like Gutsy Pickaxe could. So he has this like pretty insane outburst at the store, which now I'm like mentally flustered too. And the game ends, and the TO comes over, talks to me. He's like, "Hey, everything okay?" I was like, "Yep. I don't think there's a situation here. I don't think anyone should be removed. Seems fine." And then malicious rumors start getting spread about me. Him and one of our locals, who does not like me due to my race, more specifically than anything, began spreading rumors, and whatever, it's happening, and I'm dealing with that in my aftermath. So if you guys hear anything about that, just know it's not true. Like, I'm just there to play my Pokemon, have a good time, and get out of there. And I, like I said, if I don't get top 16 and I don't get cup points and stuff like that, it's on me. It's not on anyone else. I don't enlist help to go do these things. Like, if it happens, it happens, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. Like, I am here to play my Pokemon, no ifs, ands, or buts about anything else. So pretty bad taste in my mouth. Another one of our locals who is 1-2, so he's also going to drop and get out of there because it's a 4-round cup with a top 4 cut. Offers to take him to the metro station, which will get him home, because obviously now the area is like a little bit. It's a little bit of a weird atmosphere now in the entire store. And I was like, if you don't mind, I would appreciate that quite a bit. And if not, I was like, if not, I will take him home, so don't worry about it. And he was like, no, I can take it. Like, I understand this situation is uncomfortable for you. So shout out Justin, huge MVP there. And round 4, Will and I are the only 3-0s, so we just ID and go get some food because we literally have not eaten since I picked him up, and we went to the gas station at like 10 in the morning at this point. So it's now like 6 in the afternoon. We haven't eaten all day, so we go get some insane kebab. There's like a mom and pop kebab shop across the street, so we get some kebab. I get like a lamb kubi day with some chicken, nice and easy. I just don't want to crush all the rice though because I think it'll make me sleepy. I'm locked in for top 4. It's like I'm gonna hit top 4. I think the Incineroar guy's gonna make it again, so I'm locked in. I've got a game plan. I'm sitting there in the store like googling all the cards for what they do. So we go back to the store. Top 4 is like the final round of Swiss is wrapping up. Top 4 gets announced. I'm up against Seth. Seth actually is from North Carolina. He drove about 5 hours up, he said, to this cup because he needs 2 wins to earn his invite from here. And Seth was at like 581, I think, coming into this. And he was telling me the story of how he like very unfortunately bubbled 17th at Puerto Rico, which top 16 would have given him his invite, and I like felt for him for sure. Game one, I ended up going first. I have a pretty insane start. Candy Zard, Candy Pidgeot. Everything lines up. I just hit the C-Pow in the active. He ends up killing my Zard from like a pretty mediocre hand. Seth also played 3 Baxcalibur and a boss, which the boss I knew about because I saw it in Swiss when I was walking around a little bit after one of my rounds. And I like remember like looking at his discard and I was like, that's a boss's order in PAL. And I was like, I need to make a mental note of that. And Seth basically like went from taking the knockout that turn, and I was like, well, he's got like an 8-card hand. I'm gonna go ahead and Iono him instead of airing because he eared for an SER and had everything else right. Like he Pokestopped into the candy and then eared for SER. So I was like, he doesn't have another SER in hand. And so I owned him, but I owned him to barrel, Pow, Prime Catcher, and then like I don't know what the last card was, but he basically went bench the Pow, Prime Catcher my Pidgeot, barrel, Shivery Chill attached to draw 4, SER, knock out my active, Pidgeot, basically like put me in a really bad spot. And now I'm just like, dude, how do I win this game? If I kill the active, he just wins. So I had no access to anything but Airy. So I go Airy in my hand. The options were Airy or boss the backs, but he had like a really big hand now, and like he had 2 Iridas left, and I was pretty convinced that he could make another backs because I only seen 2 candies at this point. So I just Airy, hoping I could hit SERs because I think he had 2 SERs left, and I hit like Rod Poffin, and his hand is like Irida, and Ultra Irida and something else, and so he just goes draw Irida for SER, like loads up his board, like plays the Pokestop that's in his hand, thins down enough, gets like a barrel for 2, thins down a little bit more, gets another barrel for like 2 or 3, Pokestops into the Super Rod's back 2 energy, Shivery Chills, 6 energy game. And then game 2, my start is like super, super bad, and my board state is like Charmander, Pidgey, Bidoof, Luminian, Rotom at one point. And he gets the turn, I like have like a pretty mediocre turn 1. I play it slow, and I'm like, I'm just going to leave Charmander here. One of the cards was Manaphy at some point, actually. I think Luminion was Manaphy. And I was like, I'm going to play it slow. I'm just going to Rotom this turn. Let me just like set up and figure out what I'm going to do. And off of my like chill turn, he was able to get Bib, Candy Backs, Prime Catcher, Pidgeot, which I still established going first. Kill Pidgeot, go. And I was like, okay, can't really do much about that. And I did not have access to a Candy Zard in my hand, even after like play chill turn and like Rotom for 3. So I had to like Arven for Devo, and I think I just Devoed. And his response was obviously like a very easy, just like Irida back for Candy, Shivery Chill, knock out my active. And then I was able to make a Zard at this point. I killed the backs because I'm like, okay, he's down 2 Candy and 2 Baxes. And this is where 3rd Bax comes into play. And he kills my Zard. And then he just shows me a boss for the following turn. Like he puts 3 energies on Ninja. And then like I just like have this Manaphy sitting on my bench. And so he just shows me boss for the following turn after I play like an Arven to set up my board. And I was like, yep, you got it. So I got absolutely rocked. I think Seth did end up winning his cup. So I hope he is able to get his invite next weekend at Cups. Clutch up, dude. It was nice meeting you. After the game, I like fully like was exhausted, so I didn't have a lot of energy to talk. And I was just kind of waiting for Will. Will ended up losing as well. He was playing Snorlax, and he hit a Arctina, which I think is one of the worst matchups you could ask for. So his tournament round ended either as well. But 0 points on a weekend. I needed finals to get anything. Kind of on me. I've kind of been slacking with cups, but I definitely need to lock in my play because I feel like this cup weekend I played really, really bad. I think I took it a little bit for granted that I would just be better than people, which might be the case, right? But if I play like that, I'm not better than anyone. Like mistakes just aren't good as a player. And like the defining factor of a good player is limiting your mistakes. And I didn't do that this weekend. So I need to fix up my play for LA, and I need to lock in for NAIC. But thank you guys all for supporting me as always. And hopefully I can bring home a result you guys can be proud of. And I can be proud of. But there's three tournaments left in this season. Let's make it count. And then July we'll kick off the new season. I don't know how much I'll play in July with cups. I might just pick up cups later in the season. But yeah, thank you guys. Love you all for supporting me. Thank you as always. And yeah, Peace.